Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. Stanton is hurt. Yankees retire another number. What else is new? And the spring training report. It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports for New York Nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's go!
My fingers hurt. What's that? My fingers hurt.
Now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
It's New York Minute Sports.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. Panic button, panic button, panic button. But we've been here before. Giancarlo Stanton has double tennis elbow again. Again! You've heard me say on this show as a joke, he hurt both of his elbows last year in spring training, cutting into a tough Ruby Tuesday steak, and it happened again. You know, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results is called insanity, or just the Giancarlo Stanton New York Yankees relationship, folks, because here we are again. We opened up our eyes today with everything going well in spring training and with the most crucial bat in our lineup because the Yankees are too left-handed dominant, Giancarlo Stanton. And I was just thinking when I was watching the game last night, I was like, why haven't I seen Stanton this spring? And you know what? Keep him in bubble wrap, keep him in the back room, let him collect dust until we need him. But then today he comes out and says he's hurt again. I mean, I've never seen a guy built like an Adonis that is like Mr. Glass from Unbreakable, okay? Haven't you seen my legs? Have you seen my elbows? They made out of glass, motherfucker! This is where Giancarlo Stanton is in his career. I'm going to give you two names. Max Muncy and JD Martinez. Those are the two players that have the same or better production than Giancarlo Stanton in the last 8 years. Now, my question to you, Yankee fans, is this the worst trade in New York Yankees history? Because with all of the injuries, in 8 years, Giancarlo Stanton's only played in 744 games. He's hit 244. He's had 650 hits, 186 home runs, and 497 RBIs. Way under the production that we thought the tandem of Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton were going to create havoc in the AL East for the next 10 years. Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge have played in 61 games together. They've won 58 of those games. So when they are on the field, they're amazing together. But Giancarlo Stanton is never on the field, and I've said it here before, the best ability is availability. Giancarlo Stanton, you could actually make an excuse why we pay his salary, why we keep him on the team, because of what he brings, the dynamic that he brought in the playoffs 2 years ago. Big playoff G, that's the guy that we need. But after last year's playoff performance, which was dismal at best, do the New York Yankees even need Giancarlo Stanton anymore? If you play in 70 games a year, are you really on the team? When you strain both of your elbows when you do any physical activity in the spring and you need to be shut down for months, maybe it's time you start to think about retirement, Giancarlo Stanton. Now, this isn't as bad as an impact this year because the Marlins are paying $11 million of Giancarlo Stanton's astronomical contract this year. So the Yankees are only on the books for about $17 to $18 million. So if they were to cut Giancarlo Stanton, it would be like letting Marcus Stroman walk last year. Now, this is a problem because just like Trent Grisham, who's the worst hitting guy in camp, and we'll get to him, but just like Trent Grisham, Giancarlo Stanton is a logjam at the DH position. When you could be utilizing reps for Aaron Judge to get off his feet in right field because he's a 35, 6'7" behemoth, This guy needs to start being the DH. This guy needs to just concentrate on hitting like Frank Thomas at the end of his career or Dave Winfield at the end of his career. And Giancarlo Stanton is hindering that from happening. I said it on the show, the Bartolo Colon rule, and I joke around about it, but I'm kind of like half serious. Like, just tell this dude to come by in August. Now, are the Yankees maybe doing this on purpose? Like, is this a way to manipulate the injury list and to get a guy and remain and keep him on the salary without bringing him down to AAA? Because Giancarlo Stanton ain't going to do anything. He can hang down in Tampa until August. But, dudes, like, looking back at the Giancarlo Stanton tenure with the New York Yankees has been an abject failure. Period. Stop. I mean, look at this. First year, 158 games. Second year, 18 games with a bicep strain. 2020, 23 games. 2021, and they're not even saying here that he had a hamstring problem. Then you go to 2022, another hamstring problem. Then in 2023, hamstring and other issues, 73 games. 2024, only 114 games. And then 2025, last year, same shit, 77 games. So I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Are you ready to cut ties with the Giancarlo Stanton experiment? Because I am having trouble wrapping my head around the fact of paying a guy $18 million to play in 70 games. Hey, listen, when he comes in the second half of the season, does he put up 25 bombs and 80 RBIs? Absolutely. Okay? But when you're this chronically hurt all the time, and in my mind, the steroid issue pops up. I'm sorry. Listen, man, this guy is built like a brick shithouse. He's built like a Greek statue. And this guy hurts himself, and he said he couldn't even open up a bag of chips today. Do you know who can't open up a bag of chips? People living in a senior center that's 98 years of age. Not people that should be playing professional sports at a high level. And Giancarlo Stanton needs to get out of the weight room, needs to get into the yoga, needs to get some stem cells. I don't know, because guess what? The New York Yankees are stuck with Giancarlo Stanton this year. They need his bat. They are way too left-handed dominant, and his right-handed power, when available, it was kind of like me when I was employed while I drank. He's great when he's here. That's Giancarlo Stanton on the New York Yankees. But we had some other news in Yankee land yesterday. It was announced that CC Sabathia is going to have his number retired by the New York Yankees organization. And let me start off by saying he deserves it. CC Sabathia was an amazing Yankee, leader in the clubhouse. I mean, that guy plunked a Tampa Bay Ray to lose $180,000 because if he pitched one more inning before getting kicked out of the game, he would have made a $180,000 bonus, and CC Sabathia took the back of his teammate instead of making that money. And that's why that guy should have his number retired. But I hear a lot of Yankee fans, they're worrying about, are we going to run out of numbers? Well, we did the math here at New York Minute Sports, and theoretically, the Yankees will have a problem with all the numbers in the year 2222. So I don't think we got to worry about that. It's like the sun exploding. It's eventually going to go, but we're not going to be around to see it. So the New York Yankees don't really have to worry about that. Now, the debate is, does CC Sabathia deserve to have his number retired? Now, I could see both sides of the fence here. CC Sabathia was a Cleveland Indian. He was a Milwaukee Brewer. In fact, you could say possibly his best year of pitching was on the Milwaukee Brewers when he won 13 games in the second half of the season that year on the run to the wild card for the Milwaukee Brewers. But you know what? He was the big acquisition. He was the guy that brought a semblance, because if you think about the New York Yankees and where their organization was before acquiring CC Sabathia, they had no pitching. That's why the teams from 2001 to 2000, whenever they got CC Sabathia, were dog shit. Because you had Sean Chacon, Aaron Small, the list goes on, and Esteban Loaizica. The names go on and on as starting pitching, and we couldn't hold teams down for 5 runs. So CC Sabathia came in and changed the ball game and made the Yankees into a legit squad, and also the acquisition of A-Rod helped that. So CC Sabathia definitely should get his number retired. It's going to be on September 26th. I'll be in the building for that because they'll probably be giving a cool bobblehead away. But my question to you guys, Yankee fans, is I think there's one player from that same team as CC Sabathia that should have his number retired. And that guy's Hideki Matsui. Godzilla! If it's anyone that should have their number retired, it's none other than Hideki Matsui for the New York Yankees. For the record, Derek Jeter's favorite teammate of all time. You got to remember, this guy was the Babe Ruth of Japanese baseball, the NPB, played for the Yomiuri Giants in the Tokyo Dome, which is Yankee Stadium. Home run king, all that. Comes here to New York, has a team of 35 reporters following before social media, before the 24-hour news cycle. Matsui had the most global pressure on him. They would get ratings of 1.2 million people watching Yankee games at 4 o'clock in the morning in Japan. So if you want to talk about a guy that stepped into a role, never opened up his mouth, did what was asked of him on the team, and not to mention that World Series performance will go down as one of the greatest performances of all time in Game 6. And I was in the building for that. Cried in front of the fried noodles stand because I thought I'd never see a World Series win in my life. But that's how strongly I feel about the New York Yankees and Hideki Matsui. The dude was the consummate definition of what a Yankee is. And if it's anyone that should have their number retired, it's got to be Hideki Matsui. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But let's get to our spring training report. Let's do a little touch on last night's game. The story coming out of last night's games. You got two stories coming out of last night's game. You got Ryan Weathers, and by the way, I am trying not to call him David Weathers, his father's name. He was a Yankee in the 90s, and I am struggling over here. But Ryan Weathers, 3 innings pitched. The key is that he hit up to 98 miles an hour on the gun. Now, that makes me really excited, and that gets me really scared, okay? Let's take it easy. Spring training, okay? But 98 is amazing for a left-hander like that. And this is what I'm talking about, the Yankees organization. Listen, say what you will. Cheap Hal, Brian's not a good GM, all this stuff, right? The Yankees are very good at making players better once they're in the door. I even saw it with Ryan McMahon's at bat today, waiting for the ball to get in on him, putting the weight on his back foot. The Yankees are working with him, and you can tell when they get guys in their lab, it works. And immediately Ryan Weathers is throwing 2 miles an hour faster than he ever threw his fastball. But then, of course, we can't just have a great moment for 2 seconds because you look at social media and ESPN, and now they're comparing Weathers to Scooble. It's like, can we enjoy something for 8 minutes without having to compare if somebody's the GOAT, who's the best, who does this? Let Ryan Weathers, he's going to be the 6th to 5th starter on the New York Yankees, and we're comparing him to Scooble? I mean, this is the problem with the 24-hour news cycle and the 5-minute goldfish brain, is that the fact that we can't even enjoy this performance last night. But if you want to take it from a 30,000-foot view, is that Ryan Weathers looks like the goods. I told you, he's my adopted son of the year as soon as they acquired him from the Marlins because he looked sharp against the Yankees last year. And I've been following his career, one of the best high school baseball players ever to draw breath, best statistical player, pitcher, left-handed pitcher ever in high school baseball. Check it out. But let's chill on the Scooble. Let's just get through spring training. How about that? Maybe let's get a couple starts under our belt before we start crowning people the next GOAT and putting all the pressure in the world on him. That guy doesn't need any more pressure than needed. He just came from the Marlins where 7 people watched them play games, and now he went from Serbia to right into the fire in the New York media. So today's, also last night, Lombard Jr. was playing third base last night, and he looked fantastic. But I've said before on this show is that it's defense is not Lombard's problem. He could come up and be an everyday player with his defense. But the problem is if he comes up right now and tries to hit, he's going to be a hitter that hits 121. So that's the problem. So those are the 2 takeaways from last night's game. But spring training so far this afternoon, if you looked at the lineup today, that's going to be the closest that you get to our starting day lineup. You had Aaron Judge, you had all the faces in there. And One of the things that scares me right off the bat is Duval's performance today. Looked completely lost on the bump. And he also reminds me of Luis Heel so much is that he has control issues. Now, if you're going to wait and make this guy the eighth inning dude, which the Yankees, they're very high on Duval's stuff, but I don't know if he's got the control to do it, man. Really, really, really bothered by it today. And I know it's spring training and they're probably working through stuff, but if this guy's going to be the eighth inning guy, he needs to look sharper than he looked today. And then also Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, the starter for today. Man, I can't say any more good things about him. This guy is a legitimate starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. Do you remember Garcia from the Seattle Mariners back in the day? And then he had a cup of coffee with the New York Yankees. That's who he reminds me of. He's got a big frame, sinker ball pitcher. He could be a third or fourth starter for a majority of teams in Major League Baseball, and he looked sharp again today. But you know who didn't look sharp? Trent Grisham. He went 0 for again today. It's the third time this year. He's hitting the worst throughout all of the Yankees in spring training. And, you know, a story came out today that pissed me off a little bit. It didn't piss me off. It just made me scratch my head how people's brains work sometimes. And Trent Grisham was asked about the qualifying offer, and he goes, you know what? I had options other places. I decided to take the Yankees. Like, he's saying, like, the Yankees didn't choose me with the qualifying offer. I chose the Yankees. I had other places to go. And he said that other places were offering him more money. Hey, Trent, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining out, okay? That's like quitting your job before you get fired and then going back and be like, yeah, well, I quit. And no, you didn't, okay? You got overpaid. Can you just shut up? Take your money and run with it? Can you take your $22 million and just hit 167 and go back into obscurity this year? Because if this spring training is indicative of what you're going to do during the regular season, the Yankees are going to be in trouble at the top of their lineup. They're going to be in trouble with their cleanup hitter being out, their right-handed power hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, being out. But you know what? This is just, I think the Yankees already planned for this. Brian Cashman got a lot of shit a couple of years ago from Giancarlo Stanton saying, you know, how are you going to deal with the Stanton injury? Yeah, well, that's part of his game now. And they go, what? That injuries are part of his game? Yeah, that's part of Giancarlo Stanton's game, is being out for an extended period of time with an injury and then coming back. So I don't know if Giancarlo Stanton's lifting too many weights during the offseason. I don't know if his body is being degraded from allegedly taking juice, or if he's just getting really old really quick. But as far as Giancarlo Stanton's whole New York Yankees career, yeah, big 3-run home run against the Boston Red Sox like 4 or 5 years ago, just to barely get us in the playoffs. 2 years ago, he put the New York Yankees on his back, and I appreciate that. The one thing he does do well is when Aaron Judge is out, he picks up the slack, played a little left field for us. But guess what? He ain't doing this for charity. He's been making $28 million the last 8 years. He's been one of the highest paid players in all of Major League Baseball. And when you have the same numbers as Max Muncy and J.D. Martinez, who's not even in baseball anymore, this is the worst contract that the New York Yankees have ever signed. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a second, and I'm going to come up with a conspiracy theory. Was this the Trojan horse by the general manager, Derek Jeter, at the time with the Miami Marlins to trade Giancarlo Stanton to the New York Yankees so Brian Cashman would lose his job eventually and Derek Jeter could take over? I don't know. Chew on it. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, it's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports for New York Nuts. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby. Good night, Canada. Bye. Yeah.